Yes, yes. RSS, the podcast. It's the only feed you need. We're here with Cherry B, aka Sheba Charles, aka Sheebs, aka. Go on, give us another alias.
Another AKA? I don't know. I got one, man.
Footwear extraordinaire. Footwear extraordinaire. I think that's a good title. Nice. Yeah, Sheebs, thanks for coming on. Just to give a bit of an intro or heads up, that we've known each other for about 11. Well, I've been in London 11 years.
Long time.
Yeah, and when I first moved down, we were working together. May have met you a couple of times before that when we came down to London, or when I came from Cardiff to London for size managers meetings, or actually maybe like the Puma party in King's Cross. We can go into all that if there's any things that flash back over the next hour or so. But yes, so we've obviously been trying to meet up for a minute and kind of have a bit of a chat. I think there's some good things that we can talk about that cross over from music to sneakers, streetwear, fashion. And so before we jump into like the bit from, I guess, from when we met, like prior to that, just give people a bit of a heads up as to like where you grew up, and I guess just talk about your like influences growing up as a child regarding music and fashion, and kind of like what informed you, and kind of what it was like growing up in West London, basically.
Yeah, okay. So I'm a Sheba Charles. Grew up in West London, Shepherd's Bush, Hounslow. Big up, rap.
Big up.
Influences growing up. I've got one brother, one sister, so they're both older than me. I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
So all the influences came from them. My brother was into kind of kicks, and I kind of latched onto that. Literally, when I was when I used to go to the local sports shop and get my trainers, I used to scrape my trainers literally on the balcony in the flats that we lived in, literally just to get new pair.
Oh yeah, just like sort of purposeful. I got scratch on my shoe, man.
I'd ask my mum for a new pair. She'd be like, "You don't need any, you just got some." And I'd be like, "Right, watch this."
Quick, get a little scuff in there.
I'd be like, "Look at this," and she'd be like, "You're not coming nowhere with me like that." So I used to do stuff like that. Brother kind of influenced me on all the kicks and stuff.
Do you remember what sort of stuff he was like rocking that you were kind of seeing, or what were like your first?
So it was workouts. The first shoe was a Reebok workout.
Standard, classic.
Yeah.
When was this? Like 90s?
I want to say maybe 91.
Oh, nice. Early.
Yeah. Early doors. Heavy with the branding.
Yeah, exactly.
He was wearing, I think it was a trainer, Nike trainers were out.
Like with the Velcro on the toe?
Not the strap ones.
Ah, okay.
It was the SC, I think.
I think I had a pair of them. Like a mid-cut with a foamy padded
like
tongue.
White, blue, orange one. That's the one he had. And I think
they're like the Bo Jackson.
That's it, yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
I think from that point, I was like, rah. I clocked on.
Okay,
I was like, okay, let me get onto this as well. Other influences, like musically, again, like my brother, my sister. Brother is into like Wu-Tang. My sister put me on Tribe Called Quest.
Sick.
My cousin put me on 3-6 Mafia.
Yes.
Like every time we used to stay at his house.
Amazing.
Like on the weekends, he used to have these 3-6 Mafia videos on VHS.
Amazing.
He just used to watch them like back to front.
What were they like? Album
they were
videos?
Like, I guess it would have been something like
tour,
similar to Yo MTV Raps.
Okay, cool. Like a video collection.
Yeah, just literally recorded music videos.
Just
used to watch them back to back, and I was like in awe. I was like, wow, what's this?
These guys.
Yeah.
Amazing.
My aunties always listened to Rare Groove.
Yeah.
So kind of got influences from them, from that, and R&B. My dad's like big soul head.
Yeah.
So all of the soul kind of records. Like I used to, apparently there was
You had your tune. Did you have a track that you were kind of?
I liked Michael Jackson. Jackson Bad album.
Yeah.
But there was I can't remember the name of the Stevie Wonder album, but it's the one where it's got his face and he's got beads.
Yeah, I know the one. I don't know the name.
Apparently, I used to be really scared of the album cover, so they'd have to hide it.
No way.
Yeah. And also, like, my dad used to have a lot of Soul Train VHSs.
Sick.
So, like, apparently I used to watch that religiously as well.
Amazing.
And I think
Picking up the moves.
Yeah. He got so tired of us watching it, he hid the VHS so we could never find it again. Really
you
pissed.
probably you probably ruined something for him, right?
Man. Mortified, man.
He was happy with it, and you just you rinsed it for him.
Rinsed it out, and he's like, "Nah, you lot aren't watching this.
No more."
Yeah, but I guess it's just family and kind of influenced me on all my kind of music and fashion stuff.
Yeah. So what about? I suppose those influences like 3-6 and stuff like that. Would that have been during your teens then, or
probably I would say early teens, probably what 12, 13 maybe.
And then from that, were you like on a sort of discovery mission after that? Was it like your inquisitiveness that kind of got you to like dig further into music, or like?
I guess so. I think I just would have been following what was out at the time. To be honest, like any of like hip hop or R&B, like I would have been watching the Box, MTV Base, all of that stuff.
Channel U. That was a bit later on, though, maybe.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, kind of just pick it up from that, I guess.
Yeah.
We had Sky from early, so I was able to watch all them American TV programs and that.
Yeah, like Nickelodeon and stuff like that. Yeah, Keenan and Kel, Sister.
Trust me.
Yeah,
Whole of Trouble.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah, because was it one of there was a rap group like a pop group called Immature that came out.
Yeah.
But was it Marcus Houston that was in
Marcus
Sister?
Houston was in Sister. He's Roger. Right?
Roger, yeah, that was it. That was the link. Yeah, that was the thing I was trying to remember.
Home, Roger.
Go home, Roger. Yeah. And because Immature were in House Party 3.
Yeah.
I can't remember
who else? Was it Sticky Fingers was in Moesha, isn't it?
Yeah. Was he the boyfriend?
Onyx.
Yeah. Nice. I actually watched the there was a shout out fucking Mike Tyson. So Mike Tyson's podcast, if no one watches it, is sick. It's called Hot Boxing. Okay. So basically, he's now like a marijuana business owner.
Oh shit!
And he's been a big weed head since he was boxing, basically, or before then.
Yeah.
So he has guests on where he smokes. His guests don't have to smoke, but he smokes with his guests, basically. Yeah. And anyway, there was a podcast with, I think it was with Fredro from Onyx.
Oh, okay.
And like one of his proteges that I only watched part of the other week, but I don't know, Fredro seemed quite like, from what I watched, he seemed like a bit like, I don't know, not cracked out, but he just seemed like a bit.
Did I say Sticky Fingers? It's probably Fredro that was in Moesha, not Sticky Fingers. Sticky Fingers the one with the like eyes.
Funny eyes, yeah. But how we digress anyway. But so I mean, I suppose influences and kind of like growing up and like at what point did you? So I suppose talking about like music production and DJing. Yeah. Which one came first?
If we're talking like kind of concentrating properly, it would have been DJing.
Okay, cool.
So like, well, with music production, like I've kind of dabbled in it like for years. Mm-hmm. Literally when I had the PlayStation, I had Music 2000. Yeah. I used to make like beats on there. I still got the memory cards, to be fair. I ain't got PS1, but I've got the memory cards. I was like ripping Tupac CDs. I was sampling, bare Tupac.
I thought you were shouting them in school.
No, that was the college days, man.
Yeah.
So I kind of started with that, kind of did nothing with it, then had Cubase, like tried to get my cousin to teach me, but I didn't have any of the equipment.
I managed to get a copy of that. I think someone like nicked the CD from high school, passed it around. I got a copy on like my first desktop computer, but just didn't have a clue.
Yeah, exactly. It looked nothing like what I was used to looking at, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I think I didn't have a PlayStation, but I'd seen people like mess around on bits before, and I'd seen a bit of Fruity Loops, which just like seemed really easy, but like Cubase in comparison was just like I don't know, like looking at code
proper
at the time.
It just looked weird, like, and you needed so much stuff to get it to work. Like,
yeah, was it like so? Like, yeah, it was almost like it had like no plugins.
Yeah.
It was like just a almost just like maybe just like an instrument rack.
Yeah, I think so.
And that was Cubase that you could obviously write and arrange in, but then it didn't come with anything else.
Exactly. So
like you needed.
Couldn't even get sound out.
Yeah. You needed to have like your like
MIDI
your
keyboard
synth VSTs or like a MIDI keyboard or. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't work it out.
Put it this way, I wasn't investing in it back then. I just kind of gave up, literally. But yeah, I say after Cubase, I probably left. Yeah, I left music production for ages, literally.
Yeah.
And then it's only like I would say recently in the last couple of years, I just picked up a Ableton Push, and literally had it sitting in my room for a year
before you did anything with it.
Before I touched it, because it's too daunting, man. I was like, oh god, not another.
Learn something new. No.
Another VST. I don't think I can take it. Like another DAW, it's too much. But I gave it a go, and you got YouTube as well.
Yeah, of course.
Literally, like my savior.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just kind of learned how to mess
about.
So yeah, I'm just literally trying to kind of get my head around that right now.
Yeah. Because I remember when we were working. We might as well kind of jump into the size bit, I guess, in a minute. But like,
kind
I
of
know
between two, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Almost. But yeah, because I remember even when we were at Size, I think you had something then. I remember you saying you were either. Because I remember at the time, like Dave Bell, big up Dave Bell. If you
plus Bell.
Yeah. Because he used to make beats, didn't he?
Yeah.
I remember you two talking about.
Yeah. Him and Jerry.
Jerry used to make beats as well.
Jerry used to
What's Jerry doing now? Is he still a Rewind?
Nah. He's about. Big up Jerry.
Big up Jerry. Yeah. Jerry Gadiano. I'm coming looking for you, Jerry.
Yeah, he had the MPC, I think.
Yeah. Amazing. So yeah, I guess like I jump into the point at which we met. Like I moved to London, 11 years ago to work at Size on Carnaby Street, and when did you start working for Size? And was it at the Carnaby Street store, or was it one of the other stores?
No, I started in Leeds because I was studying in Leeds at the time. So I did like a 2-year course.
What's your study?
Something to do with digital media. I can't actually remember the proper name, but it's to do with a lot with like Photoshop and early web Dreamweaver things and stuff like that.
Nice.
So I studied that. Excuse me. Started, I think it's 2004.
Yeah.
4 or 6, I can't remember. It's either one of those. But I think I used to come down for summer.
Right.
And work in Carnaby for summer, so you might have seen me a couple of times and then I dip back again.
Yeah, in and out.
But yeah, basically.
Nice. Yeah, for those who do or don't know, Size is like a top tier sneaker retailer, mainly based or started out in the UK, but now branched out into Europe and stuff as well. And like, I guess going back, like I started working there in tumbleweeds. If I moved down to London in 2008, 2009, and I'd been working at Size for 2 years before that, so it was around 2007, so like mid to late 2000s, like at that time, like sort of, I guess like sneaker collecting and streetwear was genuinely then still really niche.
Yeah.
It's not quite as niche as that now. It's like changed.
Big old business now.
Yeah, it's like I think I read something the other day actually put it well. It's gone from being from being niche to like being a proper industry basically.
But I think we kind of not predicted it, but well maybe in the later years we did. But yeah, we saw it coming. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
And I think like
probably not on the scale it is now, but
no, not on the scale it is now. I don't think. I think like from, I suppose, being a starry-eyed consumer and like getting a job in a sneaker retailer was just like a dream job or whatever. I never thought it would have got to like a, $1 billion valuation of Supreme type scale of things. And, like Hypebeast, being floated on the stock market, things like that, which are like, real big business.
Mm-hmm.
kind of moves, I guess, for what was or what is a like 30-year-old. 30 to 35-year-old kind of culture, I guess.
It's crazy, isn't it?
But yeah, like just flipping back to the whole size thing, like, yeah, I think at the time there wasn't anywhere. I mean, obviously there were independent stores, like, you know, the traditional top tier indies that were like in and around the UK, Foot Patrol being one of them, which is where you work now. And we'll obviously get onto that in a bit. But yeah, like kind of, because I think obviously you were probably working for size a bit before I was maybe, but like, I don't know, maybe just give me your, like how you perceived size and like the sort of product that it stocked and like kind of what it was for you, I guess, when you first started really, and kind of where you,
well, I think, I kind of wanted to work there obviously because there's like, it's what I was into. I was kind of, I wouldn't say collecting trainers, but I bought a lot of trainers in the day, and I wanted to just kind of work somewhere where I could have access to that quite like freely,
easily,
basically. So, I mean, there was a couple stores. They used to have a store on High Street, Kensington, and I just remember going in there and seeing just so many shoes that you probably just couldn't get like in the normal sports shop. You know what I mean? I think I would say they were like almost exclusives, like country exclusives that you would see.
Yeah, they're like, because I mean, up until, from my memory anyway, up until that point, and again, there's obviously like independent stores, and size started out as only having a handful of stores anyway across the UK. But I think at that point, it was literally like you had your out and out sports stores, which still sold like hard goods, like footballs, basketballs, goalposts,
proper sporting equipment,
like equipment plus sports gear.
Yeah.
And like, even though it probably, you know, sportswear's been big since like the 70s as like a fashion thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit before, I don't know. But like, it's kind of like, I think size felt like it was like the point at which it kind of forked into being like pure lifestyle kind of proposition.
Yeah.
Even though it was stuck in like either retro product or, I mean, can you remember what they were stocking when you first started working there? Oof. Obviously like Air Max 1s and stuff, but like.
Yeah, so, well, I could even say like they had stuff like pointer footwear, which is like kind of really different. They had the kind of generic brands, obviously your Nike, your Adidas, your Puma.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I think it's more of like, it's weird. It's just they had things that you just didn't see. Like it's almost like they were buying stuff that would just.
That wasn't going to go anywhere else, basically.
Yeah, it wasn't available everywhere else. Like, even just seeing shoes like the Nike Sabaku Mid. Do you remember that shoe? It looked like a Vans trucker boot.
Yeah. But like a vulcanized. Yeah.
Like, it's just mad. Like, you'd see stuff like that, like, disappeared off the face of the earth now. But
which you didn't know existed.
Yeah, you're just like, what is that?
Was that early 6.0?
Yeah, I think that was before. I'm going to say that was before 6.
Yeah. It wasn't SB though, was it? Because it was like,
not at all. No,
but it was like a sort of.
It literally looked like a Vans trucker boot.
Yeah, it was like a sort of diffusion skate lineup.
Yeah, it's almost like kind of skatey, lifestyley kind of flex.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I guess it's like a chucker upper on a.
It's mad.
Which is like a sort of desert boot essentially, but on a vulcanized sole sort of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's just basically they had like just different footwear that you just didn't see anywhere else, I think. And I
think, and I guess like, I don't know, part of the, not game, but like part of it is wanting to look fresh and like have something different or something that like, you can't get anywhere else. So is that kind of like exclusivity piece, I guess, or having something different or being able to get something different?
And I mean, like, it was nice to be able to go into a physical store and see that, because obviously a lot of the time we were all kind of looking online. But, you know, it's like everything was based probably in the US or Japan, and you kind of weren't too sure. Online shopping wasn't like popping back then, so you didn't really want to go and put up your card details for you to get fraud or something, scammed or something.
Plus, I remember... like when I was going nuts and just buying loads of stuff off the internet, literally like 3 clicks, and I'm like, something's arriving in 3 days.
Early eBay days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, spiraled out of control for me. It did, but I forgot what I was going to say now. Got sidetracked. Anyway, let's move on. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's the whole thing's like changed massively. But that's what I was going to say. It was basically I would go on so many sites searching for stuff.
Yeah.
But like there was so many fake websites as well.
Yeah.
Like blatant, like you'd go onto a website called like AirJordans.com.
Yeah.
And they'd literally have like
they'd have the pictures.
Every Air Jordan 1 in all the colours, like the breads, the
from
black,
like
white, blue. Yeah,
yeah,
like all the colours you want.
Yeah.
And then some other colours which were like
moody colours.
Yeah. The colours that you
You're like, where did that come out?
Yeah, the ones that weren't going to get past the sample room or sample stage, but like you're like, what the hell? I've never seen these anywhere else before.
Ever.
Like, yeah, and like everything was like a flat price. Everything was like $99 or something. Yeah, there were a lot of shady websites. Not going to lie, but I think they would still ship product though. But yeah, they were just fake, basically.
Yeah. You have to be careful.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, so I mean, around the time, were there any other like switching from footwear but to like apparel? Like, what sort of things were you kind of into then, or what was your like entry point into like, I don't know, noticing what was going on with streetwear and stuff? I know it was kind of all part in the same thing, but like, were there any kind of like moments for you that?
Not really. Like, I kind of just bought what I liked. Again, it would have just been looking online and seeing a whole bunch of websites or brands that I was kind of interested in. Probably came from most likely from Hypebeast or anything like that. But I used to go in Bond International.
Big up Bond.
Street store quite a bit.
Big up Nikki.
Yeah, they used to have all the American import kind of brands, which was cool. We couldn't get hold of, so
I remember like Stussy, Dickies, Carhartt, Mishka,
Mighty Healthy, all of that.
Yeah, all the like first generation streetwear.
I would say,
and a New York thing.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, that was an independent store that was just like around the back of Carnaby Street.
Was it on Ganton? Was it
Ganton Street? Yeah,
I think so.
I can't think what's there now. I think it's a jewelry shop, isn't it?
Nah. Well, last time I looked, it was Red Wing.
Oh yeah, it's Red Wing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's the spot. But yeah. So tell us a bit more about that then, and kind of like what sort of bits you were buying there, and were you buying toys as well?
Nah, I didn't get into that flex. That looked like a waste of time to me, man. Yeah, because obviously it looks nice.
I felt hook, line, and sinker.
I feel like you need to. You can only do the toy life if you've got the house to match. And
to have
I got nowhere to put them things. So.
Everything on display.
I didn't jump on that too harsh. But yeah, I guess just it's weird. It's everything kind of turned into like a collectible. So. You'd have like apparel lines kind of drop in limited tees and kind of like make you want to get it a bit more. Like I used to buy a lot of Mishka stuff. But to be honest with you, I wasn't really into too many of the streetwear brands. It's weird. I kind of mix and match.
Yeah,
so I'd still be shopping in like Levi's or Stussy or like Carhartt or something like that.
Like still mixing up with some of the
but then I might get
brands.
the occasional t-shirt or jumper or whatever. I wasn't too kind of
fully on it.
I was more footwear side than clothing.
So have you still got any bits from like in the archive?
Nah.
So what's the oldest thing you've got now on ice or in your rotation?
I've got a stack of shoes, but I would say they're from the last maybe 5 or 6 years.
Okay, cool. So that's like as far back as the rotation goes.
Asking me to remember what they are. I haven't looked at them since I moved into my last house. So
yeah, they're on ice somewhere.
I don't know what. Yeah, there might be like some Vandals in there. There might be like some Puma Romas in there. There might be Rifts. Yeah, there's loads of
bits. Yeah. Were you ever? Did you ever check what were your resources? And obviously Hypebeast, but were you ever on Crooked Tongues?
Yeah, so I was a silent assassin on the Crooked Tongues.
Voyeur.
Yeah.
Crooked Tongues voyeur. Yeah, same. I had a profile barely posted, but I was more like just thirsting for the information.
Yeah. I might ask the occasional question like,
exactly.
I saw this blah blah because someone like confirm,
this.
or like, I don't know, check it's real. But yeah, I would say Crooked Tongues. I'd pop into Soul Collector, but usually it is too heavily basketball related for me, so I kind of wasn't that interested unless I was after a Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I said, Hype Beast. I used to check.
Check on Super Future.
Nah, I wasn't. You know, I didn't.
I can barely remember it, but I know that there was like forums. There was a forum within that basically.
Is that where like all the Babe heads were? Or?
I think so, yeah. Like, because it was funny because I met, I think one guy who was quite big on there, a guy called Westy, big up Westy. He's from New York. And like when I was over there about 4 or 5 years ago, we were talking about all this stuff, similar age, whatever, sort of grew up with the same things. And yeah, we were just reminiscing about it. But I don't know whether the website's still going, but it was a website that also, as well as having a forum, it also used to...
Is it the guides?
Yeah, it was like city guides.
Yeah,
so like,
yeah.
Because obviously it would help you, like, if you're going to a city. Like, I remember basically when I first went to New York in like 2003, to build out my store list of where I wanted to view and marked it out on a physical map. Yeah. Like, I went on Super Future to print off the list.
Yeah.
And then
that's just pretty cool.
Yeah, just to make sure that I didn't miss anything, basically. Yeah. And that's how I visited A Life Rivington Club.
Okay.
Recon was in the Lower East Side, which was it Stash's store?
I think so. Is that the one with the barbed wire logo?
Yeah, exactly. And then they had their own apparel brand called Subwear, I think.
Yeah. Too many, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
There's too many.
But yeah, and then I think I first visited the Supreme store back then, and yeah, just the whole Lower East Side, kind of like going visiting Stussy store. Back then it was like $2 to the pound, so it was like fill your boots, like Stussy t-shirts for like $25 was like £12. Oh. Literally like buy 6.
Just empty suitcase then. Isn't it?
Yeah, standard. Like and like buying Carhartt from the workwear like mega warehouse type thing where it's like $10 for a pair of jeans. Yeah. That's where it's yeah. But okay, cool. So like moving on really from size, then you started working for Foot Patrol when?
2010.
2010.
Yeah, when it reopened. Yeah.
Cool. So that was like literally like 2 years into me being down here, and so you've been working there 9 years now, almost 10.
What?
Foot Patrol.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Years, man, already.
So for a bit that's flown by, right?
So much?
Yeah. So for the people that don't know, can you just give a brief description about like what your position was when you started a Foot Patrol and what you do now, and explain kind of how it's developed, basically?
Okay. So. Moved from size to Foot Patrol. Started as a supervisor.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of just worked shop floor for. I think it's maybe three and a bit years.
Yeah.
I would say maybe 2000. I can't remember when our first collab was. For the store, I want to say 2011, maybe early 2012.
Yeah.
But we did I don't know which is the first one. I want to say Converse.
Okay.
Did a Converse.
With the one style.
As a pro leather.
Oh, the pro leather, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pro leather.
In the mint.
Yeah,
and
the grey high. Yeah, so there's a grey high and the mint green low. But yeah, basically my first kind of. My job now actually is a creative brand lead.
Cool.
So basically what that means is I kind of work on all of the collaborative projects with brands.
Yeah.
I also trying to develop a little bit of our own brand apparel.
Cool.
So kind of working on that. So just going back to the Converse shoe I was just talking about. Basically I kind of dabbled into working on collaborations through that.
Yeah.
So sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, was that, and how did that come about? Was that like you putting yourself forward, or was it like John or anyone else?
So our manager, John, literally was kind of working on the design. I think he, excuse me, just must have been showing us
getting
like what he's
feedback,
doing.
whatever.
What do you think? So I just kind of basically, just gave my kind of ideas. Just
Input.
said, "Oh, maybe do a mint green or something like that." And yeah, he's digging it, and yeah, they kind of went with it, and then that happened. I was like, okay, cool.
Nice little string to the bow.
Yeah, and then I guess he must have seen that I kind of sparked some kind of interest in that side of things. So, like we did another project with Le Coq Sportif on their Eclat.
The Eclat, yeah. 90s runner.
Yeah. And
Macaroon
that
pack.
that was
Nope.
the second one.
Ah, damn.
That's the
What was the first one?
the first one was it was like a reissue of their OG colorway, I think.
Okay, cool. I was in like a navy
And grey with a bit of red. So yeah, we did that first. But yeah, the second one we did was based off of macaroons, and that was like the first shoe that I kind of worked on the concept right through to design. Yeah, what I worked on, and yeah, basically I think it was just a case of us kind of had some interest in it, so you just kind of wanted to see what I could do, and that was the first one I did, and yeah,
amazing.
Kind of just
because I think
from there.
Because obviously you've been working in the industry for a while, but I think probably for anyone that's watching this, and again, part of the reason why I think this is kind of interesting for people to watch and whatever is there's probably a lot of people that know Foot Patrol. It's one of the top like globally renowned sneaker stores. And, obviously the collaborations are a big part of it in terms of the marketing. Obviously, it's really exciting. If you're into the product, then it's really exciting to make product as well and fun.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, for anyone that, I guess, wants to do that, then I think it's interesting for people to hear how they developed and how they've developed within the industry and, from working shop floor and then kind of putting yourself out there and giving feedback and trying to move into it that way. But no, I think it's a super integral part of the industry and it's kind of what a lot of brands wish and want for the whole kind of hype side of things, which is probably maybe a bit out of control at the minute, but
yeah, I mean, well, yeah, it's marketing for them, isn't it? It's good marketing, gets their name out there. So yeah, it's
and then you
kind
got
of what feeds the brand, I guess. Well, apart from obviously they make mass sales off everything else, but
yeah, they have their kind of
it's the cool part of
of what they offer. Yeah. Exactly. Cool. So so I suppose from those projects, which is pretty much from the first few collaborations since Foot Patrol reopened in 2010. Have you been involved in every project since?
Yeah, pretty much, I would say. So kind of just going off the back of that. So at that time, I'm still working as supervisor in the store. So a couple years down the line, we managed to get some offices close by. And then they asked me if I wanted to kind of get on the marketing social side of things.
Oh, cool.
Obviously, I wanted to get out the shop, so I was like, yeah.
Count me
So kind of started there with that, and I was okay. I can't even remember what the name of my title was, but I would say probably social media executive. Let's say something like that. But yeah, it's literally kind of just I was shooting all of the imagery for the product that's coming into the store.
Yeah.
This is before we even had a fully functioning website as well.
Right. Okay. Cool. So was that just for socials then, or was that going on the blog?
Yeah. Well, social back then was literally just the blog and the website and Facebook and Twitter maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think we were using Instagram just yet. I can't even remember when Instagram came. Was it 2011 maybe?
Yeah.
Instagram?
It was around about then.
Yeah, we weren't.
Twitter was 2008, 2009, right?
Yeah, so we probably would have been on Facebook and Twitter at the time. So we basically just pushed the information through through our website. It's like a WordPress blog, literally.
Yeah.
Facebook
Big up
and
WordPress.
Twitter. Yeah, and I was doing that for a couple years. Then a couple of guys from the store kind of joined as well because it was getting bigger.
Who was that? Ahmad.
Yeah.
Yeah, big up Ahmad. High grade. We'll get him on the podcast soon.
And then I kind of lost my thought. Where was I going?
Yeah, people that moved over, or other people that moved over from the store as that team set up.
Yeah, so basically I'd say the kind of social team was getting bigger as the store was getting kind of
that kind of grew as the store did, sort of thing.
Yeah, so eventually it would lead to I couldn't work on both things, like try and have input on the design and do social. So eventually I kind of parted more onto the design spectrum, where I'd have more time to focus on like the collaboration projects, and we got more people in to work on the social team and marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, it's been a kind of steady progression, I guess, over the last like 10 years. I guess the other thing though, like to probably highlight as well, is that like there's definitely something to be said for like sticking with something or with the same company and kind of like progressing with it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I haven't done that at all. I've like moved around and I've been forced out of a few places, not like because of my behavior, but just because of business decisions and redundancies and stuff like that, which I seem to be on a hat trick at the minute. In the last 5 years, it's happened 3 times. But, you know, I mean, there's definitely something to be said with like, just in terms of like takeaways, I think like sort of sticking with something and not being afraid to like kind of put your opinion forward and kind of. I mean, what was it like for like those first couple of projects? Like once they were actually kind of out into the public ether, because obviously you got like hypebeast comments and I don't know, good or bad, but obviously like work like that can be quite personal. Like talk to me a bit about that in terms of like what that was like in terms of having your ideas in your head come to fruition into something physical and then being sold and then it being well received and talk about that whole thing, because that's also something I think doing that process for the first time is. I was buzzing when I did it for the first time. So
so for me, like I'm not a quiet person, but I'm quite reserved. So like I kind of won't really give off any kind of inkling whether I'm like kind of like
too gassed or too
like I don't want anyone to take it as like I don't give a shit, but I actually do. I just it's or I keep it to myself. So anyway,
you're a well-controlled human being, Sheebs.
Until you see it at home, I'm probably malfunctioning. I'm like it's really exciting to obviously see like your work out in the public and just how people kind of receive it. But like in terms of like any hypebeast comments or just comments in general, I don't really give a toss. Like it's my job, innit? I get paid for it, so
exactly.
It is what it is. I'm not gonna lie, I used to get quite cheesed off. Just like I'm quite meticulous, and if things haven't turned out right, although no one else can probably see it, it'll kind of annoy me.
Like if you know that like
something was supposed to be how it was and it's not.
Like a Pantone's slightly off.
Or just
like a detail
no
or
one else would care about.
Like a collar lining of a shoe or the tissue paper or
but I try not to kind of let those things kind of get in the way and just remember like it's not for me and kind of doing. It's weird doing stuff for other people, but you don't know what they want. But you've still got to come up with something. It's
It's like it's weird. It's in a lot of ways it's like,
because how can it not be somewhat personal?
Exactly.
What I mean?
That's what I mean. In some ways it's like especially if it was somebody doing it that didn't sort of care about it and wasn't into it, then they might not be as attached. But then
you need some sort of some small part of attachment in order to sell.
For it to be
product.
For it to be kind of good. I think. I think you kind of almost, not to say that someone who isn't into it could do it, but I think there's definitely an edge over like having that understanding.
It's
still coming from a consumer standpoint, like you said, even though you don't know what everyone wants, you got an idea of what has been done before, what could be done or what hasn't been done that you want to kind of implement, or there might be some references that you want to like add into something to help communicate the story of a shoe or a product. Maybe talk about that process a bit. Like, so I suppose after you got a few under your belt or whatever, and maybe as the process started to get a bit more commonplace, obviously each brand works differently, but like
So,
what's the main sort of process with like, you know?
So there's sometimes with some brands it's kind of a case like you and a load of other kind of stores similar around the world are under an umbrella, and you it's like you're almost like a collective where there might be a common theme that they want you to kind of stick to, and then you put your interpretation on that. So for instance, like we worked with Adidas and Juice in Hong Kong, as part of their sneaker exchange collective, and it was to bring two kind of stores together to work together and try and collaborate on a project. And being that obviously like Hong Kong and London have had influences through each other, we kind of used that as a theme to come up with an idea for like a shoe, basically.
Amazing.
But yeah, it's either you kind of work that way with an overall theme, or you just kind of come up with whatever.
If they give you a blank slate sort of thing, and just say like, it might be they've got a model or a selection of models that they want to push.
So it could be like you could be inspired by the city, you could be inspired by building and work off that.
There's been a bit of that, hasn't there? Because obviously the Saucony the Saucony project with only in Soho.
Yeah.
I got something stuck in my throat. I don't know what's in there. Now my eyes watering. Talk to us about the Saucony project.
Yeah,
was that like 2000?
I want to say 12.
12, yeah.
I want to say 12.
13, yeah.
So yeah, that kind of was based off just being around in Soho, and it was kind of, it's quite vibrant around there, daytime or nighttime. And
the
just,
red light history.
Yeah, all of the kind of like dark alleyways and stuff, and the neon lights around the area is kind of
the empty
inspired
stairwells.
by that. Yeah, just the seediness of Soho, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of just took influence from that and weirdly tried to adopt that kind of essence into a shoe. So it's just, it was kind of predominantly black upper with like just pops of color like red and blue.
It was like sort of trying to tie in with the sort of neon colors, wasn't it?
Yeah,
they were really kind of vibrant colors.
Yeah,
it was a really good drop.
Yeah,
I think I got a bunch of stickers which never made it to.
The ones that we're not allowed to use.
Yeah.
They
exactly.
were like calling cards, weren't they?
Yeah, they were inspired by the calling cards.
In a DVD case.
Yeah. Nice. Still got them somewhere actually.
So I mean, you kind of just try and just anything, like anything I kind of see. I'm always inspired by lots of things and just soak it all up and try and use it in work, basically.
Yeah. So we'll talk about the project that dropped just this week in a sec, which was with Mizuno on
Sky Medal,
which is a bring back.
Yeah, 90s shoe.
90s runner.
Yeah. Worn by Sally Gunnell.
Oh, really?
Carl Lewis.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. They were both massive athletes in the 90s.
Yeah.
Carl Lewis hurdles or sprinter? Was he long jump?
Carl Lewis? Was he not straight up runner?
Oh, was he one of those? Was he one? Yeah.
We'll have to go.
We'll have to fact check. I feel unless he did like one of the more than one.
What's those? I can't
like
remember.
A triathlon.
That's it.
No, but that's running, swimming, cycling, isn't it?
Yeah, he ain't doing none of that. I'm sure he was just like, was he not just a sprinter or hurdle?
Because Carl Lewis, I'm just trying to think because this was like Colin Jackson. Trying to think of the other mateys. Who was the other? Linford Christie, Michael Johnson era. Yeah. I got a funny feeling he was hurdles. It was almost like, was it Carl Lewis and Colin Jackson? Was it like
back to
like sort of pitting against each other? Maybe. And then was it like Linford Christie, Michael Johnson? Like they were like,
I think
always trying to like beat each other for the record.
Linford Christie, wasn't he like the kind of back end of when Michael Johnson was just coming through? Like,
really? He was before then. Yeah.
I feel like it would have been a young Michael Johnson.
A young Michael Johnson who kind of knocked him off his place, basically. Running with a straight back.
Them gold shoes.
The gold shoes, yeah, the gold Nike running spikes and a fucking rod up his back, like him doing the 400 meters with a straight back turn in the corner.
The big chaps he used to have around his wrist as well.
Yeah.
How are you running with that?
Yeah, madness. Yeah, digressed again. Where were we? I don't know what got us onto the Olympics.
Mizuno.
Oh no, Carl Lewis, Mizuno. So prior to that, what, if you can say, what have been some of your favourite projects to work on from a footwear standpoint, or another like product launch, marketing story, or like?
So yeah, I'd say Only in Soho with Saucony. That was probably one of the most interesting kind of marketing campaigns we've run. Mm-hmm. We actually did, I don't know if there's like a particular name for this, but we projected a video onto the outside of the store. It was kind of just like maybe 2 to 3 minute video, just kind of hyping up the launch basically, and we got everyone outside. Yeah, it's on Vimeo somewhere, I think.
As like a sort of screening or like
yeah, and we had like a little. It's almost like. It's mad. It's kind of emulating like when you go into one of them dirty like stores in VHS stores, or like one of them.
Where you buy.
I don't even want to say the word just in case.
Pawn shops.
Yeah, there you go.
Where you going to? I can say it, you can't. Yeah.
But we had like a peep show.
Mags. Okay.
Yeah, so you go inside the store, and we had like built up this kind of set where you literally just look through the hole
and you can see the shoe.
Yeah, it was
amazing.
What's the word? Yeah, it was basically we projected a video onto actual blank shoe, blank model, so you can see the silhouette of the shoe as well. It's mad.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I'll have to check that out. I can't remember that. Yeah.
So that was a good one. What else? Oof, I'm trying to think. The Converse we just did not too long ago. Shoe with Converse. We did a Chuck 70s high and a Jack Purcell low. That was pretty cool to work on. What else have I done?
Tell us a bit more about the Mizuno one then. Just that's the one that sidetracked us in the first place.
Yeah, so the Mizuno kind of idea behind that basically came from when I used to take trips to a local sports shop to buy trainers.
The creatives like set out in like an old school sports shop.
So it's a ode to like a shop that was on in Shepherd's Bush called Parksy's. Big up Parksy's.
Still there?
Nah,
long
gone. But yeah, that's where I used to get all my shoes, and literally kind of just wanted to recreate how that felt shopping.
Then
at that
like
time
warp snapshot.
So you got the slat wall and you got the shoes stacked high to the ceiling, because all the good ones, you'd have all the like kind of performance running shoes or whatever, squash shoes, all at eye level and below, and then all the basketball shoes, the interesting bits, used to be right at the two top. I couldn't reach them, but I was like, I want that one.
That one, please.
But yeah, that's kind of where that came from, and I knew like Mizuno, obviously they're big in sports, and they've got a extensive sporting equipment like range. Like they're in like kind of wrestling and boxing, and
they've done like rugby and football,
all sorts of stuff. So I kind of wanted to get a hold of that kind of all those kind of bits and just include them into the like the shoot basically. So that's kind of how that come about. In terms of like the colorway, it's literally it was a case of just sitting there and seeing what kind of worked. I've worked up maybe I'd say about 8 to 10 different colorways, and just kind of got a vote from everyone in the store to see which one they kind of liked the most, and just developed it from there. Because it kind of gets a bit difficult trying to think of a theme to kind of base a shoe off. Sometimes you just want a nice
colorway, nice materials. You haven't seen that shoe in X color or
exactly. Doing storyline for collabs all the time, it's not the one, man. You need to just
I think
break it up a bit.
Yeah, exactly. I think if it comes and it's there and
it makes sense,
makes sense, then you do it.
Yeah.
If not, then you can kind of start with the colorway and the materials, and then you can kind of spin a little bit of a story. Nothing, wildly fake, but like, something like you did with regarding, kind of how you remember retro sports stores and kind of putting it back into that context, but now sort of thing. So, and do it in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, because everything now, everything looks high tech. Kind of want to look like you're moving with technology. Even the stores, like all the spaces you're going into, all kind of
like you don't see white slat wall.
No, you're not going to see that
anywhere unless you go to like
bunch of crowded just like walls with all sorts of stuff down it.
Unless it's like an old sports shop in like Barnsley or something.
Exactly.
Like you're not going to see that stuff anymore.
It's just kind of hot back then.
So when it comes to the design process, then would you say that's the kind of theme aside? Do you usually like color up a bunch and then kind of scale back, or sometimes is there like one sort of color or something hits straight away and you're like, that's what I want to do? Or
it works both ways, I guess. I'd say if you've got like if there's a theme, I'd probably have an idea of what I want it to look like. Obviously with color, the thing is you also got to be careful that I don't kind of do something too similar to what I've done before, and it kind of does happen. It's weird. Like
I'm sure you've got your default favorites, like in terms of colors and stuff. Maybe,
yeah, to be honest with you, at one point I wasn't really trying to mess with purple too much, but the Mizuno's got purple on it, and it was just because I'd seen too much purple, like maybe a few years ago, and I was like, it's overdone.
Overload, yeah.
But it looks like it's I've used purple now, and I was like, actually, it looks quite nice.
Looks good, yeah.
So yeah, it's the same way that the brands work. Like they have their kind of seasonal colors they use, their Pantones and stuff, and I guess it kind of works in the same way. Just try not to use the same color palette all the time, but sometimes it's inevitable.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, just going back to like how I design it, it depends. Sometimes I've got a colorway in mind that I want to kind of try out, but there might be another time where I just need to work on just throw out loads of different colorways and see
and kind of see what combos work.
Because it's also like it has to kind of suit the shoe. Some colors just don't suit certain shoes.
Yeah, sometimes you try something and that you think in your head might look good, but then like
it's like imagine trying to put a Van style pattern on a Adidas Samba. It's not gonna work, is it?
Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna look crazy in a bad way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. So that kind of like brings us up to now in terms of the whole sneaker side of things. Like, what's your like hot take on the industry, I guess, or like where the market's at, or because like we obviously touched on like kind of maximum hype, and kind of where it's got to versus where it was in like say 10-year period. Like, I guess, do you? I mean, you maybe can or can't say in terms of speaking on what the brands are doing, but like, do you think like there's going to be a bit of a burst bubble in terms of collaborations and like hype product, or do you think that that's going to like still always stay now and maintain, or
it goes in waves already? So like there's times where you may not see a lot of collaborations from the accounts. But then you might see more things happening with the brands. And then again, like you might have another year where the brands are using the top tier accounts to get the collaborations through, and you see kind of less creative stuff coming from them. It's literally
waves. It just depends on where the brand's at and what they want to push and that sort of thing.
Basically just kind of moderation. Don't want to do too much of one.
And what about the sort of the best performing brands? Like, where do you think they're at, and like what do you think there's any good examples of the way brands are going in terms of direction, or I don't know, do you think anyone's fallen off, or
not
I don't want to name and shame anyone, but it's just like, is there any commentary on that side of things?
I would say like the big brands, it's nice to see them opening up a bit more. They're kind of being a bit more accepting of having, collaborators tinker with their kind of product more and their logo in and stuff like that. So people are getting to really see like designers kind of work properly rather than being restricted
to just colours and materials.
Yeah, because there's
or
sometimes there's just only so much you can do, and it kind of stifles your creativity. Like if you're not able to kind of do what you want, basically. Not saying you want to kind of trash the whole thing.
Yeah. No, but like if you want to change an upper, or if you want to put,
or just even like where like logo placements have been like that kind of stuff. It's nice to see things like that coming out now.
Yeah.
I think they should be doing more of that. Hopefully they'll continue. It looks like it's working for them. But yeah, I think it's basically just nice to see them kind of be a bit more open. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know, I feel like up until maybe probably like the 10 project, which was last year or the year before?
2017.
Yeah. So prior to that, like basically Nike lost market share.
Yeah.
To a certain degree, still probably the biggest brand, but globally from like a footwear standpoint. But Adidas was kind of smashing it out with Boost. Maybe they'd launched Yeezy by that point as well.
So, yeah.
Pharrell was on board and kicking in. Y3 had its moment at that time as well.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things working for Adidas at that time.
Yeah.
Which kind of helped pull them through to like, because it's just always like they're both always fighting for number one spot, aren't they? They kind of like ebb and flow every 5 years or something as to like who's the latest and greatest. But no, it was kind of, I don't know, it felt like Nike definitely felt like they took the eye off the lifestyle ball a little bit, and like at that point Jordan felt a bit saturated as well, and like it wasn't really doing much.
I think it's a case of them just listening to the consumer.
Like I'm still waiting for them to bring back some Air Max Triax that I had from like 96.
Yeah.
There's so much in their catalog that they could bring back.
That's all the brands as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just them. Like, and I mean, I've worked for enough of them to understand some of the catalogs on some of the brands, whether it's Puma, whether it's High Tech, whether it's New Balance. Now they've all got stuff that that they days that they could kind of keep regenerating and kind of bringing back in. I mean, New Balance are starting to do a bit more now with some of their like chunkier models, like the 610, is it?
I'm not good with them.
Like the No Vacancy Inn just did a shoe with New Balance, the Water and Wi-Fi. They did the 991 first, but the second one they're doing is like a cream suede. It's like Water and Wi-Fi Part 2, I think it's called. Okay. Or More Water and More Wi-Fi, it's called, or something. But
interesting name.
Yeah, exactly. Presumably that's all you need. That's all you need is water and Wi-Fi, right? If you just like break it down to the two elements for humans to survive, water and Wi-Fi. But there's a lot of catalogs in the brands. But I think the challenge is from the brand side, because obviously like I've had a fair bit of experience with that. It's like internally trying to, unless like you're like a director level within the business, within a brand, where you're not making all the decisions, but you're at a level where you can make a decision rather than be feeding back for something to be signed off.
Yeah.
Unless you're at that level, it's like, if your bosses and your superiors don't understand it, then it's a huge stumbling block, and it takes quite a lot of persistence and grit to like be able to stick with feeding all of that back, and sort of waiting for brands to kick in, and like understand, and like unless you're one of the top 2 or 3 brands as well, to remake a shoe from scratch like costs maybe at least like $15,000.
Oh yeah. If you need the last, like some people don't have the shoe, gotta find the shoe.
Exactly. So it's like there's a lot more that goes into it, and like a lot of the brands don't have their own archive of that model, because they haven't catalogued everything, and and also they need to know. It's a big investment for a brand to relaunch a model, so they need essentially a business plan behind it from someone internally so basically someone needs to put their neck on the line and say that this is a 3-year plan. we need to invest, 15, 20 grand up front just on the shoe. Then there's probably an additional 50 minimum in terms of marketing to be done on that to help bring it back, to seed it in at the top level. And that's probably year one. And then year two to like open that model up to a wider audience to create more money for the brand, needs another level of marketing. And then year three is where you might be able to see it in like a JD, or I was going to say an Office or an Offspring, but yeah, I'm not sure how they're doing for business at the minute. But like, yeah, it's like it's basically, it takes a lot, and I think I got frustrated with it at times, but I understand it. But again, I think from the outside looking in, if you're not part of the industry but you're really into footwear, and
you're just like, why isn't it?
Yeah, why isn't it happen? Or like, how does it work? Like, what's the process behind a retro being brought back when it's not already in the product line and stuff? So, but yeah, so like flipping away from the footwear, so like DJing's been more of a recent thing? Or?
Yeah, so when I started DJing, probably 4 years ago, I want to say. Yeah.
And then what's the road been like since, in terms of like, development and gigs, and then talk about the spot a bit, and then
so
our radio RIP.
Minute RIP. So I guess I started DJing. I bought a controller off eBay. I think it was a Newmark mix track. And I basically just kind of started mixing because I wanted to just make like like a mixtape almost, or a mix for myself, and just to play in the shop. I was at Foot Patrol still. Yeah. In the shop, actually.
In the store, yeah.
Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to make music there so I can listen to whilst I was at work. And then I think Ahmad, he asked if kind of just wanted to start DJing. I was like, oh yeah, why not? Seems fun.
Get on it.
I can kind of do it. I hadn't used like CDJs or turntables or anything like that before at the time. But it kind of jumped on it. So it's me, him, Alex.
Shatter.
Yeah, Shets.
Yeah. Big up, Alex.
Naji.
Yeah.
At the time, there's more members, but they came a little bit later.
This is the spot. Yeah.
And I think it was literally maybe when Radar just kind of started, he literally said that he found the radio station that was kind of looking for DJs, and I think he just emailed them.
Who's that, Ahmad?
Sorry, I'm speaking about Ahmad. And kind of just literally
rest was history.
Went straight into the deep end, and just
straight into the show.
Had a show. It was like,
Saturday afternoons, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's like, I think was it bi-weekly?
Yeah, it was pretty regular. Yeah.
Madness. 2-hour show bi-weekly. Do I have that many tunes? I don't think so.
I think I jumped down and played one that was pretty fun.
So it's mad. We kind of got onto Radar, and literally learnt how to use CDJs in there.
From that, so kind of on the job.
Just used to go and practice all the time, man. But it was something we all enjoyed. It like kind of had us all kind of chilling together and everything. So we kind of just,
like sharing tunes and like just kind of gassing each other up about stuff.
Yeah, basically.
Or calling them out for playing something crap or whatever. Just like the usual kind of.
Yeah, so we kind of like formed a little collective, DJ collective called The Spot, and then had Marv, Simon and Keena jump on as well.
So big up
so
Marv.
It's like a 7-man collective. It's mental.
Yeah. Big crew.
Yeah. Did that for a couple of years, I think. Yeah. Kind of went down to, pretty early on, we went down to a monthly show because the bi-weekly was too much. It was too much to handle. And I think between those 2 years, like, we were pretty much playing. We were playing a few gigs here and there.
Nice.
Played in Ace, Miranda, Ace Hotel.
Miranda Bar.
Played Alibi, plenty of
Oh yeah, you had a
times.
regular. Yeah, I was gonna say you had a regular. You were doing a party there, right?
Yeah.
Monthly.
Yeah.
Was it monthly for? No, like every couple.
Yeah, it was.
It was regular-ish.
Yeah, exactly. Who's in there?
Yeah, you're in there. You're in the mix.
Yeah.
Alibi, R.I.P.
Is it back up or?
Well, no. Apparently, I got.
Someone told me it was back up. I don't know if they're like.
Well, yeah, I got an email about it being a members thing.
Oh right, okay.
But that was months ago.
Okay, I don't know.
And they were like, "Oh, do you want a members card?" And I was like, I replied straight away, being a Kino, which like, "Yes, please." And then I heard nothing since. So,
Cool.
Dino, if you're there, if you're listening, or if someone's listening, and there's members cards going on, then hit me up.
Yeah. So yeah, we played a couple spots. I used to try and kind of hold our own night.
Yeah.
Which was sick. And then kind of after we left Radar, like not disbanded, but literally like just kind of had other projects people were working on, so we kind of just...
Yeah, Ahmad moved to Copenhagen.
Yeah, Simon's in Bali.
Has he opened a... Has he opened... I saw some...
Coffee shop.
Yeah, he's opened a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, so he's permanently over there, yeah.
Yeah.
Madness. Oh, big up you. big up, Simon.
And then, yeah, kind of just fast forward to now, I guess, literally just me and Keena just got a new show on Bellamy Radio.
Amazing, yeah.
Just did our first show on Thursday. So it's every third Thursday of the month.
Big up, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen
Bellamy.
back, gang, is that up already?
Yeah,
The show?
it's up. Yeah, listen on SoundCloud. Not SoundCloud, Mixcloud, sorry.
What's the show called?
Flavors. It's called Flavors with Cherry B and Keena.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then what about production then? Because I know I've been hitting you up for tunes. If you
Yeah,
want to put something out.
I'm working on it. It's like I'm kind of producing and learning at the same time. So
It's good.
I guess that's what everyone does.
Yeah, you just gotta chuck yourself in the deep end and just kind of go for it, right?
But yeah, like I've made a couple tunes. Like obviously, like I've passed a couple on to you, see what you think.
that's it.
It's more to just. I need to just do more. But
Yeah.
I'm
The
so
remix you did for
lazy.
Ahmad was sick as well, though.
Oh yeah,
that was sick.
I forgot about
Yeah, so the high grade bounce release that came out,
Big up.
was it back end of last year or was it start of this year? I know it was this year.
I think it's this year, you know.
Yeah, I think it was this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's out on Index Life, so yeah, check it out. It's by High Grade. The EP is called the Bounce EP.
Yeah.
There's 2 or 3 original tracks by High Grade and remixed by myself and a remix by Sheebs or Cherry B.
Yeah.
Yeah, go and check that out. So yeah, what else is in the pipeline then? Is there anything you want to share about this upcoming, whether it's projects or
I'm just trying to kind of work out on some more bits myself. Just literally get the hang of stuff, hang of things, and then kind of eventually put something out. That'll be ideal.
Yeah.
Just did a song with Keena as well, so we're literally trying to finish that up and just release it as well.
Amazing.
See what happens, and just keep working at that really.
Yeah.
Like with DJing, I just keep DJing.
Keep on it.
Yeah, just go with
Nice.
the flow, man.
Any shout outs then before we kind of sign off, or anything else you wanna add?
Yeah, I'm rubbish with individual shout outs, so just shout out to everyone I know in it.
Yeah. That's the easiest way of covering it off without pissing anyone off, right?
Yeah.
Boy, you forgot to shout.
I shouted you all out, so there you go.
Exactly. Everyone gets a shout. All y'all. Exactly. All right, cool. Sheebs, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm sure we'll do it again at some point.
It took a little while, but
in the future.
And I was mad nervous as well.
No, I mean it's chill. Like we just pretend the camera's not there, and Is what it is. Cool. But yeah, thanks for taking the time, and I'm sure we'll do it again in the future. And thanks for listening. This has been RSS podcast, the only feed you need. At Tracks Couture, at Cherry B on Instagram. I'll add some Cherry Bomb Inc. Yeah. Sorry, I'll add some links in to various bits and pieces on the YouTube channel. And thanks for listening. Big up. Peace.
Safe.